I'll do one about gardening. This is one I wrote after I moved to Wales, because when I lived in Manchester I never had a garden any bigger than this stage. But when I moved to Wales I found suddenly that I got one that was as long as this tent and a foot wide. Some would call it a path. But I got really into gardening, and this is the poem I wrote before I gave up a fortnight later. I'd never had a garden, so I smiled all summer, watched it grow. Flowers came and flowers went, with gifts of colour, shape and scent. And as I watched the seasons turn, I knew I had a lot to learn. One thought in my young head was placed: one must not waste one's garden waste. And so I bought a compost bin and put my garden waste therein, in hopes in time it would decay, and so it proved. And one spring day I spread it on my garden so the mulch would help my garden grow. And so it proved, for very soon I found I had to cut and prune. I cut and pruned and hacked and mowed. It seemed I had more than I'd sowed. Still, June, it seems impossible. My compost bin's already full. I bought a second compost bin and put my garden waste therein, in hopes in time it would decay, and so it proved one autumn day. I spread it on my garden, those two binfuls, how my garden grows. And grow it did, for very soon I found I had to cut and prune. The garden waste that I'd used made richer soil, which thus produced more garden waste. What can I do? I fill bin 1, I fill bin 2. I bought a third compost bin and put my garden waste therein, in hopes in time it would decay, and so it proved one April day. Bed and lawn I mulched them both, and watched in fear for signs of growth. And grow it did, for very soon I found I had to cut and prune, and hack and strim and mow and chop another bloody bumper crop. A vintage year for garden waste, and soon the problem must be faced. I make a start, I fill bin 1, bins 2 and 3, the work goes on, for I have cut and gathered in enough to fill another bin. I went and bought bin number 4, but I'll not do this anymore. I go out every evening, late, I'll sneak out through my garden gate, and lay my treasure down instead on someone else's flower bed. And having thus enriched their loam, I steal their slugs and take them home. I see their gardens, how they grow. I look at mine, and does it? No. I watch them toil, I watch them weep. I close my eyes and go to sleep.